There we go. All right, welcome, Beverly. I would love for you to introduce yourself and just tell us when you joined Homemade.
Okay, my name's Beverly Burris, and I joined Homemade the early part of October of 2018,
Mhm.
somewhere right around in that first week.
Wonderful. And you've continued on with us in the Success Program.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So you've been going with us, for quite a few months. Um, Love for you to just tell us a little bit about what your weight and blood numbers were prior to the program.
Okay, I didn't have any of those things some of the people have as far as prediabetes. I had not been diagnosed with that yet, or high cholesterol. Those numbers were good, but I was on high blood pressure medicine, which even with the blood pressure medicine was running 130s over 70s to 80s. So it was a little high still, even with the medicine.
Mhm.
And I had escalated to 178 pounds. And some of that was from medications for fibromyalgia.
Mm.
Some of it was eating too much cheesecake and being sedentary. So, but I was very much overweight, in a lot of pain, on a lot of medications for that, and battling with the blood pressure and not wanting to be on the meds because of some side effects that were not so
Yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like you joined Homemade to work on weight loss. Did you realize that you would also be working on improving your fibromyalgia when you joined, or is that kind of like one of those things?
That was one of the things in the preview part that really intrigued me, because she was like, to people with diabetes, fibromyalgia, inflammatory diseases. So I was like, okay, I fall in that category. So I was hoping, I was like hoping that I would lose some weight and hoping it would help my fibromyalgia. And I took it on a lot of faith. I had really been praying for a solution to change my life because I knew I wasn't healthy. And um, interestingly, how Anna started popping up on Facebook and Homemade started popping up on my Facebook, and not, I don't know why, because I hadn't put anything out there to it for it to do that. But so I started checking Homemade out and watching Anna's video and introductory class, and she convinced me that this was going to work for me.
Wonderful. I'm so happy you joined. You are definitely one of our very engaged and active members, and you've had some incredible results. So let's talk a little bit about what your cooking was like prior to joining Homemade, and then we can move into how it's transformed as you join the program.
Yeah, yeah, and I can share how much I've lost too.
Oh yeah.
My cooking, I did most of our cooking beforehand. We didn't eat out a whole lot, but I was cooking a lot of pasta, a lot of white rice, you know, and we would do stir fries with white rice, but it was loaded with pre-made teriyaki sauces. And I used a lot of boxed things to supplement what I was cooking, and boxed mixes for, as much stuff as I could. And I was cooking food, but it wasn't wholesome so much. It was covered in sauces and gravy and the way we kind of grew up eating.
Yeah.
And so it's transformed into that I have fallen in love with the produce section. I used to buy produce with good intentions, and then a week later throw those good intentions in the trash and feel guilty for wasting money. And now hardly anything gets wasted, because if the food starts to get, the fruit starts getting a little towards too done, we cut it up and freeze it, and it's ready for smoothies. And I save most of my vegetable peelings and ends and make broth with that, make my own vegetable broth. And so we have very little waste. And Anna even said we could eat the greens off the strawberries. So, we're eating strawberry greens and beet greens and foods that I never thought I would ever eat, and loving them. Like beet greens, I could just wash and just eat them like candy. They are so yummy.
And what's interesting is our body craves the food that helps heal it. And so you mentioned that you had issues with blood pressure, and beet greens are actually incredible for helping um, improve your blood pressure. So isn't that
Yeah,
interesting how
it is.
body
I've
craves?
been able to come off my blood pressure medicine completely.
Wow!
and my blood pressure's running like 116/68.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
And my doctor, who sees me every 2 months, is like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And he's actually talking about starting to bring me off of more of the fibro meds. I've dropped pretty much all the muscle relaxers and the anti-inflammatory meds. And
Wow.
I've got just a couple that I'm on that he's like, I think we'll start weaning you off of those and see how you do.
That is incredible. What a blessing that you're able to come off some of these meds and just simply by, it sounds like instead of eating processed sauces a lot of the time and grains that aren't whole, you're moving towards more whole grains, more homemade sauces, lots of lamb, as we mentioned before, and veggies.
Lamb.
Yeah, and like tons of fibrous veggies and fruits. You're improving your health day by day, and it's incredible you've been able to come off medication.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, just to touch upon some of weight loss, it sounds like was one of your goals.
Yes.
What are you doing in that category?
I have lost, as of a couple days ago, from October, I have lost 35 pounds.
Wow.
Woo, happy dance.
And you have tons more energy now, yes?
Tons more energy, dropped about 3 sizes of clothes, and lots more energy. I've started going to an exercise class. It's called Ignite. It's a combination of Pilates and yoga and stretching, and has a spiritual focus to it, and more of a Christian spiritual focus to it, and has been very challenging. I have done planks. Woo! They weren't pretty, but I did them. Today we did side planks, and that was, but I'm stretching. My body wants to move now. I'm out mowing my own yard and keeping up with my grandsons who are 8 and almost 4, and keeping up with them, and not just out of breath and like, oh, let's just watch a movie. I want to get out and play with them. We're out on the water slide, and we're out running around hitting the baseball and they were part of my big why.
Totally. That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. And you're able to do all of this with fibromyalgia. Like, to have people hear that, I know that so many people hear that and will be so inspired, because having fibromyalgia is a huge block to your movement, your energy, your mental state. So
Oh, yeah.
being able
I went from couch potato, basically taking a nap every day and having trouble getting up in the morning, having a normal pain level of 6 to 7. That was a pretty good day for me. And now I'd say my normal pain level is 0 to 1.
Wow.
And if I take a nap, it's probably because my little grandson is here and he wants me to take, as he puts it, take a sleep with him. So I'll snuggle him up and take a sleep with him.
Absolutely.
But I'm just not, I'm waking up in the mornings. I'm energized, and so much of the inflammation and the pain from the inflammation is gone. It's gone.
That is so beautiful. I love hearing that. So you mentioned before I hit record that your husband is on board and loves to barbecue, tons of lamb and veggies. And I know that that's definitely like very helpful in terms of your own success. So if you could just talk a little bit about how you got your husband on board, that would be
well, he was, in a way, he was the catalyst that finally got me to want to make the change, because he was diagnosed with glaucoma. And he really doesn't want to pursue surgery and that kind of thing when you're messing with your eyes. That's kind of not the route we wanted to go. So all of a sudden, wasn't worried about my health, but I wanted to get healthy for him. I wanted to get him healthy, and I knew that there were foods that could do that. So that was kind of the catalyst that got me looking. Wow. So he got bored right away because he was wanting to do it to get me healthy. So it's like the perfect combination. We've been married. We're high school sweethearts, been married 42 years. So
wow.
It's worked for us.
What a beautiful fairy tale. That's amazing.
It's
42 years is a long time.
Up and downs in history, and still in life. very much in love.
How beautiful.
He knew it was meant to be. He says that it took me a little longer than him to know it was meant to be, but it was meant to be. And he's like, the night I met you, and I was like, I wasn't quite there yet the night we met.
Oh, Beverly.
And he's been such a supporter over all these 30 years of fibromyalgia and all the pain and illness and things I haven't been able to do. He's always been there for me. So he jumped right on board with this. And first we just did the smoothies and just loving the smoothies and experimenting with that. But then when we got into searing and grilling, well, my kitchen has been gutted. It was gutted last August, and we're doing the remodel ourselves as we can. So it's slow going because he's working and then trying to do this. His background is in construction. So I started this program without a working kitchen. And about 2 weeks into the program, we went camping for 10 days, primitive, like camping, like cook stove. And I took my blender and I loaded up my cooler full of fruits and veggies, and I just made smoothies, and I had all the little kids in camp running around drinking smoothies. They were like, I don't know what that is, but they were like, you put broccoli in there, but I don't taste broccoli. And I'm like, exactly. So
Drink
then
up.
we got back into, we kind of got into the grilling, and he loves to grill. So we found out we could purchase large lamb roasts at Costco, and he cuts them up into small little steaks so that we have just a small portion of meat, or into chunks to like saute with veggies, which is what we did last night. So I chopped up, I usually will do the prep work, and I'll chop up the veggies. So it might be like last night with sweet potatoes and onions and a couple different colors of peppers. And I steamed some broccoli. We throw cherry tomatoes on there always because you get this beautiful pop of flavor. And I didn't like tomatoes before homemade, wouldn't eat them. And now I'm like, pop those cherry tomatoes in my mouth and just enjoy that burst of flavor.
Absolutely.
And so then he just goes out and grills it up, and he works on the vegetable seasoning, and I season the meat and marinate it ahead of time. And we just have lovely meals, and we often throw in black rice has become my new favorite go-to grain. It's delicious. I didn't think anything could be better than white sticky rice, but black rice has it beat. It's got body and flavor, and you can just taste the health in it, and it's not that expensive. So we aren't spending that much more money on groceries. We're just spending it in a different part of the store, and we're saving money because I'm off of a bunch of medicines that were not inexpensive. So
yeah,
it's great. But he's definitely on board. He has also lost weight. I don't know how much because he's not getting weighed, and I don't have a actual scale in the house.
that's great. I love that.
I just don't need to know that every day. I could tell by how my clothes fit
Exactly
how it's going. And it's been nice to get feedback from family members and friends that, wow, look at you. What are you doing again? What diet are you on? I'm like, I am not on a diet. I have a whole new lifestyle.
Oh, I love that. That's so incredible to get that positive feedback, and to also not be obsessive over the scale. I'm sure you can feel it from everything from your head, fingers, toes, like you're not as inflamed. You're able to cook. The fact that you're able to cook, your pain levels have gone down, and that you're doing this all with a kitchen under construction.
Yes.
Hugely inspirational. You guys are finding a way to make things work, whether that's just doing some prep work and having a nice clean salad or for dinner, or you're having your husband go out and grill up some beautiful cherry tomatoes, lamb, and other veggies.
Yeah.
Guys, that's fantastic. That is that's amazing.
And I keep a big bowl of salad made up in the fridge all week. I'll wash my lettuce and get it all dried, spin it out, get it all dry, and get a nice green base with some, beet leaves in there and some other greens. Get purples, get some kale. Obviously, spinach is one of our favorites, and make up the base salad with some shredded carrot in it, and just kind of keep that in the bowl. And then when we need a salad, and we went from little cereal-sized bowl salads, and Anna said go big. So the bowls we use now basically be serving bowls, I think, for most people. And that's what we eat our salad in. And we throw in whatever vegetables are around. We love blueberries in it, strawberries, all kinds of nuts, hard-boiled eggs for the protein factor, and then just a little balsamic, for me, a little balsamic with oil and vinegar. I haven't got him quite broken of his Thousand Island love yet, but he's using like
That's
a
okay.
tablespoon of Thousand Island dressing in a whole big salad instead of, whatever before would have been a quarter cup or more.
Totally. It's all about baby steps and not depriving yourself. If you really want the Thousand Island dressing and you're eating it with a heap ton of vegetables, enjoy it.
And he does, and we
Yeah.
do. And I love to have avocados. Like, I used to think avocados were a luxury, and now I literally eat an avocado a day, just about every day.
Yeah.
But I think they have made me feel so healthy and so good, and they're so filling. And if
Mm-hmm.
you slice up your avocado on your salad and kind of mash it on there with a little oil, you've got your dressing. You don't need anything else.
Totally. Yeah. And it's all those healthy fats that are actually incredible to blend with all those vitamin K rich greens that you have going on. They're the perfect marriage and help your body absorb all of the nutrients. So that's great that you're doing that. Next, I would just love to talk a little bit about your mindset. You've mentioned that this is a huge part of your success in the program. And so if you could just talk a little bit about how you've transitioned into this new mindset and what that's been like for you.
Yeah. I didn't have so much of a diet mentality as some people do because I had only ever done one official real diet, and I did lose weight on it. It was Diet Center, and I did lose weight, and you ate real food. But when I quit the program, it all started coming back on because I hadn't really learned principles other than counting every little calorie and writing down every bite of food, and that wasn't sustainable. And I looked at so many diets, and just went, that's a fad. It's cutting out a whole food group. That can't be healthy. I mean, I just, in my head, I kind of knew diets are not where it's at. You got to change your thinking. But I never found a way to do that until Homemade and Anna came along. And the mindset that she takes us through, the mindset work, changed my thinking about food and realizing that I could learn to like whole healthy food and that I could still enjoy things I liked, just I didn't have to have them all the time. And the most interesting thing about that is now, like, I was like, how can I give up cheesecake, which is my favorite thing? And now I don't even want cheesecake, even though it'd be perfectly fine to go have a piece. I would probably take 2 bites and be like, that's enough because it's so sweet now. But getting rid of the processed foods. But the mindset was just to understand that I could change, that I could reprogram my mind, that I could make good decisions for my body. And as I started getting those processed foods out, my taste buds changed, and vegetables and fruits started tasting better and feel all these flavors that you never noticed before. And so that just motivated me more. So then you go more into mindset and you start thinking about taking care of yourself and nourishing your body in ways it's carried over so much into every other part of my life, into how I'm taking care of my hair again, into the clothes I'm wearing, actually caring about, not just wearing a baggy t-shirt because that kind of covers everything up. And it's changed how I think. And I've told my grown children who are here in town and my husband that I'm going to be taking time for me because I need to take care of me so I can take care of you in the best way possible.
Mm.
And that has been a huge, huge change in my mindset. And then learning to eat for nourishment, but also satisfaction, and learning that you can actually do that and enjoy it has been it's been such a fun adventure. We've gotten creative with our cooking, trying new things, trying new combinations, eating foods at different types of day than you might normally think of eating them. We
Mm-hmm.
love to make big egg sandwiches. Like if we have a late breakfast, early lunch, we'll make just huge, big, hearty egg sandwiches full of veggies and squash and things that we've thrown in and then put that on some Dave's Killer Bread. And, that will hold you till evening when you might need a smoothie. It's just so satisfying. And it's carried over into me becoming more creative in other areas of my life. My husband was the one who pointed this out, that I'm doing things, I'm just getting more creative with little things, but little things like things to do with the grandsons, or folding the napkins differently, or just little things that I didn't do before, because all of a sudden I've got these new neuron paths in my brain that are saying, try this, try that, and finding out that I can change. That was empowering to find out I can change my thinking, that I could control my eating, and I don't feel denied, and I don't feel deprived, and I don't feel like I have suffered 1 second of this plan since I started it. I have not felt like I have suffered at all. I feel like I eat more food now than I did before, but I'm 10 times more satisfied and 35 pounds lighter.
Yeah, and with way more energy. Like, I can see it in the way you talk right now. Like, you are full of energy. It's great. It's really, really beautiful to see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been inspirational, and now I've got, like my daughter who lives in Atlanta is asking me. I spent last week over there with her and showing her, ways to make smoothies, and helping her get salads, and buying her a salad spinner, and showing her how she can do some things to, and her husband is not on board. So, and that's okay. He's not there yet, but
Yeah.
She needs to lose the weight, and she is working on it, and she actually has sent me pictures of her food every night.
Oh.
I bought her a bag of black rice before I left and said, just try this. And she sent me a text the next night. She goes, black rice equals yummy.
Oh.
So I've thought about that. And my sister is watching Anna's community things in the community group, and watching videos, and sending me pictures of her smoothies and salads every day. And that makes me feel so good, because I want my family to stay healthy too. I want everybody to be here. I plan on living a long time now. I feel like my healthiest and most active years are now ahead of me, really, because everything has changed so much. And I want to have all my family members, my kids and my sisters, around as long as I can. So I'm so excited that they're seeing the changes and wanting to learn.
Yes. Well,
Point them right to go to homemade method.
Yeah. You've been such a huge inspiration for all of them. I mean, even if you weren't to, show them how to make smoothies or do this, just by simply setting an example and them seeing you transform it's huge. It's wonderful. It's absolutely inspiring. And the fact that you're sharing all your knowledge with them, that is something that we love to hear, and like envision for all of our members, to share this with their families, help them get their families healthier. This isn't just for them, although I am very happy to hear that you take time for your own self-care so you can take care of others. You definitely cannot go around trying to help heal other people when your cup is empty. So self-care is a very important component to your health.
We go to a weekly fellowship group where we all take something for a potluck meal, and I started taking salad, because that way I knew I'd have something that I would eat, and that's really what John wanted me to take, was salad with all the fixings. And now, 1 week I didn't take it, I took something else, and they were like, where's the salad? Where's the salad? We want your salad. And whenever we get invited anywhere, and like we're having a family reunion on my husband's side here in town this weekend, and my sister-in-law texted me, bring one of your big healthy salads, please.
Oh.
So it's exciting because they are enjoying it, and because I know I have something I can eat that I will enjoy too. But I love that I'm sharing it with people. I never thought I'd be the person who they were asking to bring salads. That would have, if you had told me that a year ago, I'd have laughed and said, oh no, they want me to bring my famous cheesecake and my, whatever, my stuffed potatoes. But now they want me to bring salad.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Beverly. You have been so wonderful to talk to today. I really appreciate you taking the time. And we're going to wrap this up.